Good morning everyone, and welcome back to Coffee and Makeup. My name is Brittany, and today is a real coffee and makeup day because I'm still working on my coffee this morning. It's very early, but the show must go on, and today I am bringing you a much anticipated first impression, well, at least anticipated by me, and it is of the bareMinerals BareSkin Foundation. I don't know about you guys, but I am on the bareMinerals makeup, I guess, subscription, or their online, I get their emails, and I got an email about this foundation. I think it was in March, and it didn't come out until May 1st. I was so excited. I'm not even really sure why. I guess I just really like the idea of a serum foundation, and so I was really excited. They haven't had a liquid foundation before, obviously, and I've never been able to use their foundations for that reason. I just really prefer liquids, and I have dry skin, so I feel like just putting powder on my dry skin, I just don't like it. So I was super stoked for this foundation, and I just had a chance to pop into the bareMinerals at the mall near my house, and they color matched me to a color called Bare Shell, and then I went to the Sephora because they ended up being sold out of Bare Shell, so I went to Sephora to see if they had it in stock, because of course they sell bareMinerals, at least at my Sephora, and they matched me to a different color, which is Bare Linen. And I found out later when I was researching that Bare Shell is a lighter color for people with cool undertones, and Bare Linen is a light color for people with neutral undertones, which I thought was a little strange because I feel like I have warm yellow undertones, so to be matched to cool or even neutral is strange for me. But when I was swatching this, the Bare Linen, that is supposedly the neutral shade, it seemed really warm to me. So if you're going to look into these foundations, keep that in mind, that they seem to run really warm toned. So it's really cutely packaged. You probably don't care about that at all, but it has this little thing that says shake well gorgeous, which I thought was cute. And the saleswoman at bareMinerals was telling me a few of the ingredients that were in this foundation. You're supposed to shake it before you use it, so she was telling me a couple of the ingredients that were in there, like vitamin C was one of them. It seems like they really are marketing, or they're trying to market this foundation to older women because it has a lot of anti-aging ingredients. I was thinking that it might have salicylic acid or something for acne, but it doesn't. So I did not get the brush with the hole in it. I don't know if you guys have seen that. They came out with a new foundation brush with this foundation, and it is just a flat-topped buffing brush with a little well in the middle, which I think it's kind of gimmicky. I think it's kind of stupid. Sorry, bareMinerals, but yeah, I'm not paying for a brush with a hole in it. So a little bit came out there, so I'm just going to dab this. Apparently you don't need a lot of this foundation, so I'm only going to use, I would say that was 1 drop, so maybe like 3 drops on my beauty blender. Okay. And then my handy Meet Matte palette will serve as my mirror for this. So I don't have any primer on. I want to see how the lasting power of this is without primer. So I think it's a pretty good match to my skin. I feel like their colors selection is pretty natural in terms of like people's actual skin tones. I can't speak for the darker colors obviously, but the lighter colors seem to be really good to like match the skin. I don't know if you guys have this problem, but I feel like a lot of drugstore brand foundations are just like a shade range of just like light orange, dark orange, and none of it is really like even a skin color. So this isn't like that. It's actually blending into my skin really well. You might notice that the foundation is a bit darker than my face, but it does match my neck because I've been doing a little bit of the big tan. And one of the first things I notice about the foundation when it goes on is that it has like an extremely smooth feeling. It almost reminds me of an Hourglass Mineral Veil Primer or Professional, something that has a lot of like silicone feeling. So it's not oily, but it does feel really smooth, and I like that. This is kind of annoying because I guess you have to shake it each time you want to get more as you can see, there's kind of like a color separation here in the foundation, so I'm guessing you have to shake it every time you want to add a little bit more, which is sort of annoying. I don't want to really have to do that in the mornings. Alright, so here is my first layer of the foundation. What I have to say so far is that it's definitely a dewy finish right now, and that might change over the course of the day, but at this time it looks really shiny and dewy, so if you have oily skin, I don't know if this is the foundation for you. It already starts out with definitely a sheen. So I have super dry skin. It, I think, looks really good, and I like a dewy look, and hopefully it will be moisturizing throughout the day. It doesn't look like it's sinking into the pores or accentuating anything. It does look like it's accentuating a little bit of dryness that I have on my cheeks, which if I'm using the Beauty Blender, that's really like the best way to avoid that. So it seems like it might, if you have extremely dry patches, just be part and parcel of this foundation, that it might accentuate that drying. Yeah, otherwise it looks really good. As you can see, like, you can still see some of my acne scarring, or at least I can. I don't know how it looks on the video, but you can still see some of my acne scarring in person on my chin, and it's not exactly covering up. Like, this scar right here is still visible, so it's sheer coverage, and right now I'm going to see if I can build that up just slightly. So let's go do the shaking thing again. And I'm just going to get, 2 drops. Okay, so it's definitely not a concealer, and of course we don't expect it to cover everything, but it is difficult to build this foundation up to be covering acne scars or current acne, whatever. It just seems like it would be difficult to cover things. I don't have any really red spots on my face right now, so I can't speak at this moment to how it covers redness, but I will try to keep an eye on those like scars and acne scars and whatever, and see throughout the day if they become more and more visible. Overall, I think the foundation is nice. I do have very dry skin, and foundation tends to cake up my skin, and already I can see that this isn't sitting exactly right on my face. The name is BareSkin, and the whole thing is that it's supposed to look like your skin, but in my opinion it's a little bit, I don't know how to explain it. It looks like it looks pre-cakey, like it looks like it's about to get cakey later, which of course we will find out. But otherwise, I think it feels nice. It's not, I don't like that it seems a little bit wet still, but hopefully it'll set in throughout the day, because I can definitely feel right now that I have something on my face and it does not feel like skin, so that's another downside. At this point, I'm not in love with it, so now I'm gonna head to work, and I will be spending my day wearing this foundation, of course, and when I come back, I will tell you guys how it's held up and what my final thoughts are. Alright guys, I am back, and it is 9 hours later after putting on the bareMinerals BareSkin Serum Foundation, and as you can hopefully see, my face is a mess right now. It is not looking so good at all for the bareMinerals foundation, in my opinion. So let me tell you what I've found. Well, firstly, as you can see, my face is quite shiny. It is like an oil slick. I'm not used to this because I'm prone to dry skin, so it's very rare that I have this whole thing happening on my face, and honestly I wanted to just stop wearing it midway through the day because it feels so uncomfortable. Like, it never lost that I don't know, wet feeling on my face, and then after a while it just got this really oily feeling, and of course the looks to match with the oiliness. So for the sake of this review, I've worn it for 9 hours, so you're welcome, but this is not a good feeling and it's not a good look. And also there were some patches that got dry looking, so it's almost like the worst of both worlds with this foundation, and I hate to bash it so much, but this is my honest first impression, that not only am I getting really oily, I'm also experiencing cakiness as if it's clinging to my dry patches, so not a lot of good things to say. And then also, I'd say about 3 hours ago, I went out to run some errands. It is hot out, so it definitely got worse at that point, but this foundation slid all over my face, and I'm not sure if you'll be able to tell, but there are just patches of foundation that are like gone on my face, like around here, near my hairline. It's just not staying in place. And granted, I didn't use a primer, but this is kind of ridiculous. I don't feel like it's really necessary to say this, but it also didn't really stay covering my scarring and anything like that, because it's not really covering anything at this point. So yeah, I don't want to be scathing with my review of this foundation, but this is my honest opinion, and my opinion is that it's just not very good. I still like it for the fact that it has a very wide color range, and it can give you some colors that you might not normally find in the drugstore. Like, it's hard for me to find my match in the drugstore. So if that's you and you really need like more of a variation, I guess you could try it. If you have oily skin, girl, don't. And even if you have dry skin, this could be you. So I don't know what to say about that. I don't even know who I should recommend it to, but I suppose if you have a hard time finding your color match, and maybe if you're looking for a winter foundation, but like I said, it has the oily factor and also it clings to your dry patches, so I'm not even sure what would be a good season for this. But I was not very pleased. If you have dry skin and you're looking for a foundation that makes it look like skin, like the BareSkin claims to do, I would also recommend trying the True Match Lumi from L'Oreal at the drugstore. It's much cheaper, and honestly, I feel like drugstore foundations in general have better coverage and better staying power than this foundation. And maybe not the color selection, but I wouldn't pay the price point for the bareMinerals foundation again. I would definitely stick to something cheaper that in a lot of ways works better. So that is, of course, only my opinion, my humble opinion of the bareMinerals BareSkin Serum Foundation. I would love to hear your opinion, as always. And also, I'm particularly interested in the brush. Have you gotten the brush that comes with this foundation? Because I realized I was a little bit hasty in judging it, and I have not used it before. So you guys let me know. Did you like the brush? Does it work better than a regular buffing brush? Do you think it's gimmicky? What do you think of the brush? That's what I'm most curious about from anyone who might be viewing the video. So thank you all for viewing, and I hope to see you all in my next video. Bye guys!